Now, I want you to take a look at the shepherd's challenge. There were some things that they needed to learn and that the angels were explaining to them. This is your challenge. This is what we expect from your life. This is what's going to happen because you've met the Messiah. And they're found in verses 9 through 14. This angel appears to them, and I mean, what a disconcerting turn of events that must have been in the middle of your night. They knew how to defend against wild animals, and they knew what to do if somebody would try to come and steal their sheep, and they knew what to do if the sheep scattered. But what do you do when an angel appears at night in the sky and hovering over you and speaking to you? You know, we in the pageant. By the way, this afternoon is the last performance of the pageant, so you need to go see it if you're going to catch it this year. In the pageant, there's this one scene at the very beginning where the angel appears over Joseph, well, actually over Mary, and then over Joseph, and it's one of the pieces of music that we're doing, and the angel says, "Be not afraid, I bring good news." And then Mary responds, you know the story of Mary and Joseph, and then the angel appears over Joseph and sings to him. And we're in the pit choir. There's a group of us in the pit choir that are kind of a hidden choir that you never see, and there's good reason for that. And so we're in the pit choir, and we're watching this on monitors. And somebody made the comment in the pit choir, said, "Man, wouldn't that just scare the fool out of you if some little angel came up standing on your rooftop singing to you? Well, what would it do to you, you know?" And it's Don Cable that is the angel, and I said, "And what would it do if you found out that the angel was your banker?" Then what would it do to you? You'd be totally freaked out. But you know, you are minding your own business, going through your routine, going day to day to day to day, and all of a sudden, an angel appears in the middle of your routine and speaks to you and says, "The end of the world, or the rapture, happens today." What would you do? How would you respond? What would it do to your life? Well, they were terrified. It just scared the fool out of them. They were terrified. The words that are used here in this passage are two words, megasphobeo. Megasphobeo, and it means exceedingly frightened. In other words, they were panicked. I mean, wouldn't you be panicked? Wouldn't it do the same thing to you? There you are, minding your own business, doing the best you can, and all of a sudden, something happens that you have no control over, and your first reaction is, "Oh, this is trouble." Because that's the way we think. Something out of the ordinary happens, we tend to think, "Oh, this is a problem. This is something, what could possibly be wrong with this?" And you begin to think, "What's it going to cost me? What could I lose in this process?" This is how we think. You heard me in our study before, one of the things is that we think in probabilities. God thinks in possibilities. We think like, well, this is probably what's going to happen. This is the way we think. We think in probabilities, and God thinks in possibilities. And we, just like the shepherds, would probably think, "Why me? I got enough things going on. I got enough problems in my life. I have enough crises in my life now. I don't need something else like this. Why me? Why now?" And the angel, knowing what they're going through, says to them, the number one commandment in the Bible, you find this commandment more than you find any other commandment in the Bible, do not be afraid. The angel says, "Look, guys, I know this is frightening to you, but trust me on this, you don't need to be afraid." Why? You don't need to be afraid because I have a message for you. And in these few words that the angel spoke, we discover a very simple yet powerful message from God for those of you who are feeling a lot like those shepherds, afraid and confused, maybe a little lost. There are 6 things that the shepherds were challenged to do. Is that right? 6 or 7? I forget. I've lost count. But these are the things that the shepherds tell, or that the angels tell the shepherds, "This is what I want you to do. This is what you need to learn from this process." And the first thing you need to learn in your routine, as you go from day to day to day, and God steps into your world, the first thing is, don't panic. Don't panic. Don't be afraid. I bring you good news of great joy. And that's a message from God for you. Don't panic. There's a bigger picture here that you haven't seen yet. I know your life was going along just fine, and I know that you had some problems and you don't feel like you can handle any more problems, but you had everything pretty much under control. But I have something else in mind for you. Something that makes no sense to you yet. Now, I want you to understand a couple of things. When God shows up in your world, number one, things are going to change. And number two, they're not going to make sense. When God shows up in your world, things are going to be very, very different. And we pray for God do something. God, enter my life. God, do this. God, I need you to answer me. And then when God answers you, it's like, whoa, time out. I didn't mean for things to change, God. I just want you to show up. What? When God shows up, things change. Your life changes when God shows up. And you're going to have difficulty understanding what God is up to. So if you start praying for God to intervene in your life, be ready for a change in your life. Because when God shows up, it means a change is happening in your life.